Arr, 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 arr. Next is Ether by Sin Sin Collective, which is set in James Joyce's Dublin. And it's inspired by James Joyce's collection of short stories called Dubliners. Now there's a book. This year, it's 100 years old. It's easier than Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake. Fuck off.
As soon as the tram had let him down in Glasnevin, the young boy James rushed into the gaslit kitchen of the little house, and his Granny Mooney, had gotten the dictionary down from the shelf. James was a clever boy, and when he'd ask what some word meant and she didn't know, they'd get out the dictionary and together they would look it up. This time the word was ether. You see, returning from visiting his mother, James had been eavesdropping on the two refined gentlemen talking on the tram. He was in the seat behind and noted their top hats were of the finest quality. Their coats were of the blackest black, their moustaches white. They both had thick canes with silver knobs atop. They were speaking about something called ether. It was very mysterious, and the well-spoken gentlemen whispered together like old ladies in a church. Then they fell quiet. One of the men produced his cigar case, and the two fellows lit their cigars and puffed on them in silence. The three of them trundled on, looking idly out the window, at the long evening falling into the quieting streets. The two smoking fellows and the secret boy, like a little cat among the chimneys of their top hats. On the tram, eh? Nice hats. Cigars, you say? White moustaches, Granny Mooney mused. And talking about ether? Where did they get on, she? Nelson's Pillar. And where did they get off? At the graveyard. E-T, ether, read the little boy. It's from the Greek. Granny Mooney narrowed her eyes. Go on. A colourless, highly volatile, flammable liquid used as an anaesthetic. Perhaps they were doctors, opined Granny Mooney, going to a funeral, and then instantly contradicting herself. But it's too late for a funeral. There's more. The upper regions of space, the clear sky, the heavens, the medium supposed by the ancients to fill the upper regions of space. Theologians. They could be theologians, said Granny Mooney. Or scientists. Professors, mayhaps. James had had a lovely time in Bray. He felt so proud walking with his mother. On the promenade, he paraded beside her. He could feel people's admiring eyes upon them. His mother was so beautiful. Her skin was warm and soft, and her raven hair flowed over him. They enjoyed the brass band playing, and like two children were soon marching along to the military march and gaily laughing. She loved playing on the sand and paddling, swinging her boots around her head and hitching up her petticoats, splashing in the waves. James thought that sometimes his mother was more a child than he. She was so in the moment, just like a child, never thinking about tomorrow. And when the long summer evening was falling and the crowds were dying down and all the tiny lights were coming on and all was restful and warm, and she would hold him in her arms, he would always agree when she'd say, "Wouldn't it be grand if this could last forever?" Now James could smell his dinner coming. Downstairs, Granny Mooney was rattling pots and plates and pouring them their tea. Looking out the window, James could see the evening had thrown its deep blue mantle over the little city. The endless sky was filled with stars. He gazed through the open window at the pale disk of the moon. He knew things would have to change. If you do nothing, they change anyway. It was up to him to let it flow over him and surrender, or to start steering. The sandcastle he'd built with his mother earlier that day on the beach in Bray was now being reclaimed by the gently lapping, inwardly moving moonlit sea. He could see it eroding in his mind. There must be more than just the joy of simple, brief moments. Precious but so fleeting. He must think hard now, but not like a child. He must make a plan and take his mother away from the Montauk. He must save her from herself. Go somewhere that is safe. Escape. Disappear. Like the sandcastle. Or into the ether.
Rain.